What's going on? What's going on, Patriots? You just locked in the Hood Politics where we always keep it 100. I'm your host, Jay, and y'all already know on this channel we cut straight through the BS and get straight to the policies and issues that hit us close to home. We talk about everything from elections to national debates, all the way up to political podcasts. And we start each and every one of them off sending out our thoughts and prayers. And we're going to send out our thoughts and prayers to our fallen general always, Charlie Kirk and the Kirk family. Hey, Patriots, check it out. You know, every morning I drop a message, right? I drop a video on TikTok. And I be trying to convey how serious what's going on right now at this point. How serious it is. You know, what the left is pushing for. And I'm only saying it's the left. I know some of the right is ready to rock. I know. So for all the liberals who are watching this, I know. But it's mostly the left. You know, because, and I say that only because the left, these leftist cities, these leftist politicians, the leftist leaders, they are not following federal law or the Constitution. So that pushes us towards civil war. You know what I'm saying? And I can never convey how serious it is if something like that was to happen again in the United States. Because see, no matter what people think, the effects of a civil war last for years, decades. Look how long. When was our civil war? They still trying to knock down statues and asking for reparations, and you know what I mean? Like, the effects is crazy. And for those people who remember a while back when they was talking about drafting and females going into the draft and stuff like that, and the millennials and this and that, and you know the Gen Z and the millennials are, oh, I ain't going to fight no war, and I ain't fighting nobody war, I ain't gonna be drafted, and yada yada yada, blah blah skip it. Let me tell y'all something. Gen Z, millennials, in a civil war, you automatically drafted. Ain't no, I'm not finna fight. What you gonna do when somebody in your face trying to take you out talking about, oh, I ain't with this? That's not how it works. And you think your leaders is gonna let y'all sit in y'all basement and play video games while the Republicans and conservatives is handling their business? No, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? But I could never convey how serious it is. So I was watching Tucker Carlson the other day, and he said it perfectly. Everything I've been trying to say, he said it perfectly in his monologue. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I got poured up, and I just want everybody to check it out, man.
Well, not to be depressing, but here's the truth and something you should keep in mind over the next few years. The United States, two things to keep in mind. The United States is moving, not inexorably, but still moving toward civil war, number one. And number two, civil wars are the very worst kind of wars, worse than any kind of war fought against a foreign adversary. So to number one, why is America moving towards civil war? For the same reason all countries that wind up in civil war get there, because the differences between their population, between people within their borders, becomes too great to bear. People decide, I have nothing in common with the people who live near me, and I don't want to live near them anymore. In other words, diversity, difference, is actually intolerable to most people. Not necessarily racial diversity, though sometimes that too, but diversity of all kinds. It is not our strength. In fact, it is, without question, our weakness, and it has always been. If you have nothing in common with your wife, do you have a stronger marriage? No, of course your marriage falls apart. And the same is true for countries. And the truth about the United States is that on every level, beginning with a demographic level, the American population has less in common with itself, with one another, than ever before. When I was born, which wasn't that long ago, it was the modern era. It was air travel and air conditioning, electricity. When I was born, the United States was about 90% white Christian. It's now less than 40% white Christian. Now, you may think that's a good thing.
That is insane. That is insane. Let's continue. That's crazy, man. That is insane, man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Or a bad thing, but it's a massive change, an unprecedented change, really, in a very short period of time. And of course, it's not accidental or organic. That was the result of policies put in place to achieve that result, and they did. There are people who didn't want a majority white Christian country. Okay, they got what they wanted. But what do they have? They have a country with no majority demographically at all. There is no American majority.
Now, how insane is that? That is scary. There's no majority in our country. And people wondering why it's in chaos like it is right now. We got to strengthen our borders. I don't even know if we can go back from here. Like, to be honest, I don't even know if we can go back, man. Like, we are so far divided, so far apart on everything from social issues to politics. And they trying to throw the racial component in there. You know what I'm saying? Which that definitely don't help nobody. And what other people don't understand is civil wars turn into racial wars. So that's another thing.
Which is to say, 51% of people have something very basic in common. And so what you have is an inherently fractured country. Languages, religions, ethnicities, backgrounds, beliefs, too innumerable to catalog. And so a country like that, unless unified by something, will split apart, particularly when that country is the size of a continent and is held together by a pretty fragile web of infrastructure, air routes and highways. And so unless you are very self-conscious about keeping it together physically, but also spiritually, explaining to people why they should have any regard at all, much less any obligation to people in, say, the next town, much less the next state. Unless you do that self-consciously, unless you inculcate a sense of national.
And we are at that point right now. Right now, we are at that point. You got, like, basically, I can use myself for an example. Like, I hate the liberal cities. And I'm from all of them. I'm from all of them. Every state I landed in, Wisconsin is the only state I landed in where I didn't be in a liberal city. You know what I'm saying? And right now I hate those places. I hate those places because of what they let happen to them. You know what I'm saying? My city, Chicago, it's a disgrace right now. It's a disgrace. And I'm gonna let y'all know I'm upset with the Trump administration too, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I'm a little upset with Trump. You know what I mean? And that's my president. I love him to death. But I think he should have been invoked the Insurrection Act. He should have invoked the Insurrection Act during the George Floyd riots. You don't let that type of anarchy and chaos. You don't let that ride. I'm gonna keep it family friendly. You don't let that ish ride, and you're a president. You know what I'm saying? Trump should have stomped those fires out quick. How he said, quickly. We should have put those fires out. He should have put those fires out quickly. You know what I mean? And he didn't. And the same thing he's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? He worried about, and this is another thing that aggravated me about Trump. He is worried about what the left thinks of him, man. He ain't gonna never change their mind, man. And I know you they president too, so you got to protect them too. And right now they destroying themselves. And they are in desperate need of military intervention in those cities, especially my city.
Identity, it will by nature fall apart. That is a physics principle, entropy. It'll blow up unless you hold it together. And this has been an untended garden for decades. Decades. Nobody in charge of the United States over the past, say, 40 years has really tried to articulate why all of us should live together on the same continent.
Nope.
There's kind of been an unspoken ethos of America, a kind of gay rights technocracy, globo homo. We're all kind of cool with, lifestyles. But that's thin gruel in the end. It's also repulsive. But even if you like it, it's not enough to hold people together who don't have common beliefs, backgrounds, languages, religions. It's just not. It's pathetic. It's rich people politics. It doesn't actually mean anything. It's just an adornment. It's political jewelry. It's a bumper sticker. It's not a national identity, and it's not enough to hold your country together.
Indeed.
And that's why ours is coming apart, because people don't have enough in common. So what would happen if it came apart? What would happen if there were a civil war? Well, the first thing to know is it would be incredibly violent, because wars are by nature violent, and civil wars especially so. Violent and crazy. And you do hear from time to time people on both sides, particularly on the left, but not only on the left, say, well, I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of that 100%. I made a video the other day, like, I'm ready for this BITCH to blow, you know what I mean? To pop. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I don't want it to happen, but I know it's gonna happen. And I don't like the fact that I don't like the fact of how we look while this is happening. While they pushing forward with this, it's going to happen. Literally, it's going to happen. Ain't no question. Unless somehow our leaders decide to become friends. Because right now they hate each other. So as long as we that far apart politically, this is destined to happen. So why am I constantly going to how can I put this? I don't want no more Charlie Kirks. How many Charlie Kirks and what's the other guy that got killed out in Portland by the BLM Antifa dude? I can't think of his name, but may he rest in peace too, man. But the left been taking people out, man, one by one. You know what I mean? And I'm just, man, I'm guilty of that. But do I want that? No, of course not. I don't want to be out here doing this. I don't want no war between neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Families and friends falling apart. No, I don't want that at all. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't never been in the military or nothing, but I've been in the streets and I've been in firefights, and that ish ain't fun. That ish ain't fun, yo. Bullets flying everywhere. You returning fire, trying to get home to your family. No, that ish ain't fun, yo. It's not fun. So I'm this ain't nothing I'm wishing for or hoping for. You know what I'm saying? But I know it's coming, and I'm tired of how we are looking on the right. You know what I'm saying? We had Charlie Kirk. These people, we got the Attorney General in Virginia talking about he want to put two in somebody's head, his political opponent, and they kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm not finna say I'm not guilty of that. I'm definitely guilty of it. You know what I mean? And unlike probably most of my audience, you know what I'm saying? I have experienced, wars. They wasn't wars overseas, they were street wars. And trust me, them wars in them cities, in them streets, is just as bad, if not worse, than what's going on overseas.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the fight. People who say that have never seen what that looks like, anyone who has seen what that looks like approaches the entire topic with care and respect because it's incredibly ugly and its effects are generational.
And you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I did do, is I keep telling everybody, just prepare, keep your head on a swivel. Don't go out, do nothing stupid. We ain't trying to go out and start nothing, but we ain't running from nothing either. You know what I'm saying? And that was my way of letting people know, hey, this ain't what we want, but if this fight it's coming, you got to be ready,
And if you don't believe it, consider our own Civil War, which ended 160 years ago in 1865, and we're still fighting it. We're still arguing over the names of Confederate generals, tearing down their statues, renaming military bases, stereotyping people in the South. That war is still ongoing on some level. It's not a hot war, but it's very much a cold war and has been for 160 years. Go to Spain. Their Civil War ended in, 1939. They're still arguing about it. They're still passing legislation about it. The wounds left by civil wars do not heal quickly. They last for, hundreds of years, and they completely remake the country, usually for the worse. So disunity is easy. Rebuilding into a single country after a civil war is very, very hard, and sometimes it never even works. There are civil wars in effect ongoing on this planet right now for hundreds of years, and they probably will never be resolved because the people fighting each other within national borders don't have anything in common. That's the truth. So if you want to prevent a civil war, figure out what everybody, or at least the bulk of the people in your nation, have in common and emphasize that. And so what would that be in our case? Hard to know. In fact, at this stage, really the only realistic hope for national unity is spiritual revival. Is a place where most Americans wake up to realize that God exists and created every single person in the United States of America. And that's what we have in common, our humanity. Not because our common humanity is meaningful by itself, but because our common humanity comes from God and we're created in his image. And only when people truly realize that will they hesitate before killing each other. But in the meantime, and we hope that comes soon.
Now how did that work? And this is a legitimate question to anybody in my audience, to Tucker, anybody who can answer that. How can that work when one side don't believe in God? When one side don't believe in God, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about what's going on right now, man. And that's this one thing what I don't like about the Republican Party. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I don't like about the left also, you know what I mean, is that the left do something, the left will take a swing and a punch. And the Republican Party will either, one, just absorb the punch and turn the other cheek, or two, if they punch back, the left and the mainstream media be like, oh, it shouldn't be tit for tat. It shouldn't be tit for tat. So they just want the Democrats to do whatever they want to Republicans, and the Republicans never ever to hit back or to punch back. And sometimes they don't, and that's what I don't like about them. Sometimes they don't. They like the white, Mitch McConnell and his little strongly worded letters. Okay, hold on now, Democrats. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna stop this right here, man. You know what I mean? Because everybody get the gist of this is what I've been trying to convey every morning. You know, that this ain't nothing we want. It's one of the ugliest wars that can ever happen. You know what I mean? You gotta look out for your neighbor. You don't know who. And we almost at that point, man. We at the point where conservatives don't want to live around liberals, and liberals don't want to be around conservatives. Well, conservatives don't really mind. All we ask is just don't bring your liberal ass politics out here. You know what I'm saying? Just come out here, be cool, sit, chill, and vote the right way. You see what you running from. That's just all that aggravates me so bad about these people. Like, you voted for all of that BS, and then you finna run to a conservative, clean area and chill and try to, no. And do what? Vote the exact same way and turn that area till you got no place to run, till the whole America is just one big liberal shithole. And that's what they want. They think that is some type of utopia or something, man. Criminals running around, people being able to do drugs all over the streets, wherever they want to do, like just no law. And then when something happened where they get out of control, they're gonna turn the place into a real dictatorship, because that's what happens when it's too much lawlessness. So hopefully when that happens, we have all the branches of government, so we can go, and we got that now. He should go shut all that ish down right now. Trump should go shut everything down. All the protests, all this everything. And he should start locking up governors. It's a lot of people need to be locked up, Joe, for insurrection. For insurrection, yo. They are, and that is the definition of insurrection, man. In the Constitution, it states that the federal law is the law of the land. It overrules the state law. That's why we have the federal government. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just wanted to put this out here, man. This your boy Jay. Happy Saturday to everybody, man. Happy MAGA Saturday. You know what I mean? I've been having fun with y'all this morning with some memes. They fuck around and let me up. I'm sorry, dead. Try to keep it family friendly. They messed around and let me figure out how to make memes. And, you know, I'm the biggest troll on the planet, so I'm gonna keep them rocking too. But I wanted to share this with y'all, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man, about what's going on. Y'all think we're gonna go into a civil war? Do you think it's gonna happen sooner than later? You think it's never gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Also, like and subscribe to the channel at YouTube at Hood Politics 90. And subscribe and hit that notification bell. This your boy Jay checking in, and now I'm checking out. Y'all know how we do it, yo.